As soon as it hits our principal's hands, I'm going to access data such as the SAT scores from the previous year. Overall, they tend to be pretty accurate, but every once in a while, it won't tell the whole story. A kid may have come in sick that day and just not performed well. At the end of this school year, I'm going to the 7th grade teachers and I'm going to say, tell me about your students. What do I need to work on? What's some strengths? What's some weaknesses you saw? Where are they? I'm going to access the ART, the direct assessment of writing, and that's something we do differently here in Tarrant as well. The direct assessment of writing is given at the 5th grade and the 7th grade level. At Tarrant, we give it at all grade levels. So we have a writing sample each year to pass on to the next grade level so we can see where they are. We're going to go over our vocabulary for the week. If you'll look on your desk, you'll find an orange vocabulary book. Would you get it out, please? And go to Unit 2. Today we're going to play a game. You're going to work in your groups. I'm going to give you each 3 words each. Well, I'm going to give Kiata's group adverse, arid, and assailant. You're going to look up those words. You're going to write down the correct definition, but you're also going to come up with, let's say, a fake definition, something you think would throw somebody off. I would probably say I drew more upon the ThinkLink today than any of them because that's the most recent one that's been administered. And then the ThinkLink basically showed me where they are at this point. Did they get the material that I had taught previously based on the other data or not? Based on that, I could design my lesson for today and try to fill the gaps before the next one. And then we will reassess again using ThinkLink at a further time before the SAT test so we can see if there's still gaps I need to fill. What about Ronnie? What do you remember?
They have a ceremony for each age group each year.
They have a ceremony each year. What do we have that's similar? Birthdays. Okay, it's not exactly the same though, right? How is our birthday ceremonies and celebrations different from their ceremony of age? Okay, Josh?
Each year they get something different. Like one year they'll have ribbons, and then the next year they'll get to take them out and they'll get a bike. But we just get presents and move up.
What else is different? There's still a big difference between our birthdays. I'm looking for something in particular. Keandra?
We get to have our own birthdays, but they gotta have theirs together.
When I looked at that data, that some of them do have trouble comprehending certain type of reading passages. But they were, I guess you would say, realistic fiction. That they got that was good. But the stuff that was a little bit more out there, the fantasy, the stuff they couldn't relate to, that's the stuff they had trouble with. So that's one reason I picked The Giver. It requires a little bit more thinking. He remembered what the chief elder had said, that his training would be alone and apart. But his training had not yet begun, and already, upon leaving the auditorium, he felt the apartness. I found that looking at our analysis of the data, that it shows that the higher level skills of what our students do poorly on, and I think they need to learn how to think. So that's why I ask them the questions like the I wonder questions, and to sum up what they've read and comparing our society to the society that was in the book. So I wanted them to be able to do comparison and contrast. I wanted them to also recognize the different types of governments that exist. So I wanted to tie it into some social studies issues. I want it to be relevant to them. What I'd like for you to do now is make your margin notes. Summarize very quickly what we've read so far today. Once you finish, get the little sticky notes out. Then let's make some questions. I wonder, okay? What do you wonder about? Well, I wanted to contrast Jonah's society, democracy, socialism, communism, and utopia because those are all things that we've discussed. And that will further lead into some comparative and contrast essays. So I picked that out so I can use that later on as well. And it's also visual. Okay, I have visual learners, I have hands-on learners, I have audio learners. So I want techniques that addresses each type of learning style. I want them to be able to get up and move, like going to the board and putting their little sticker up on the thing. I mean, it may not seem like much, but yet they're doing something and they're contributing. It's a hands-on activity where they write it down. This data tells me exactly where they are. It also helps me pick out exactly what objectives I need to teach. By the objectives and knowing the students, then I can pick out the best techniques to teach it. I can pick out the best material to teach it. So, if you don't use the data and if you don't have data to use, then you're not going to get the job done effectively.